Hey guys, this is travproductions here. I just wanted to tell you guys my thoughts on the new album, the new Deadmau5 album. Album title goes here. Was released in the United States on September 25th of 2012, and I've given it a few good listens, and I'm here to tell you what I think of it and whether or not I'd recommend it. So first of all, I'm a huge Deadmau5 fan. I've listened to all of his albums, and I understand, this music. So, but first off, I just want to say you're not going to get as much out of this music unless you're familiar with these styles and you already enjoy this kind of music, because it's very much expanding on, the style house music, or minimal music, things like that. Just the electronic dance music, genres. So I'm going to start from the first track. The first track on this album is Superliminal. Now this is a very, bass-heavy song. It's very, some would say repetitive. It has a like a wobble bass almost, repetitive. But it and it slowly adds different elements. Like a progressive, house song, and just slowly adds these elements, and then it has a breakdown. And I really liked this track. The first time it didn't do much for me. I listened to it again, and you just pick something new up every time you listen to it. Some new element that's thrown in the middle of it. It's really, to me, it comes across as like a running song, like something to go jogging to or something. So I really enjoyed that track. Second is Channel 42, which is a collaboration with Wolfgang Gartner, which he did. He also did Animal Rights with Wolfgang Gartner on 4x4 = 12. This is one of my favorites on the album. It has a really great chord progression in the beginning, and it just combines, Joel and Wolfgang Gartner's sounds so well. I just think that it's really just a very stellar track, in my opinion. Just listen to it. I mean, it's just got a really cool sound to it. And then, number 3, The Veldt. We've had The Veldt since July, I think, or June. And, obviously this is a stellar track. This is a, very immaculate, very complex, and a very good vocal performance by Chris James. You actually get 2 versions of the song on the album. You get the 8-minute edit as well as the Tommy Trash remix, and you get the actual music video for it, which is the radio edit. So that's cool. You get 3 versions of The Veldt on the album. Next we have FN Pig, Function Pig, whatever. This is actually another really great track to me. It's the first few minutes of it is just a build up of of synths, and it's just a really almost like a very just beautiful sound, and then that all leads up to a very choppy melody line. And all of that just continues to build up until, a beat drop that is probably one of the most danceable he's ever composed. And, I just say listen to this one yourself. This is definitely one of the tracks that I would recommend. Professional Griefers, I'm a huge fan of that song. I think it has one of the most just very, I don't know what it is about it. The beat is just so... I don't know how to say it, but it's just so... It just makes you want to go crazy. It's just awesome. And I think there's a great vocal performance by My Chemical Romance's Gerard Way as well. And then next up is Maths. Maths has been one of my favorites since it came out last year. Maths is just an awesome track to me. Very complex. It plays on the vocal harmonies, of the bass melody. Just does a lot of cool things. That's just one that I would just play at a party and just go crazy. It's just an awesome song. And next we have probably my favorite song on the album, which is There Might Be Coffee. It uses a lot of, just old style synths, something that you might hear, maybe in a simpler time of electronic music. And it just brings it all together. And it's probably his most beautiful song since Strobe. Now, it doesn't beat Strobe because nothing beats Strobe, but it's just one of my favorite tracks. It's great to just chill out to or drive down the highway to. Next is a song that's probably going to have a very split audience. Take Care of the Proper Paperwork. It's very much minimal. It's experimental. the purpose of it is more just listening. It's not based on a catchy hook. It's not based on any of that. It's all very, experimental. You're just going to pretty much hear a lot of different sounds. There's not as much of a, there's no set structure to the song. It doesn't make it bad for anyone who likes minimal house, or maybe, just experimental types of music. This is, that's a good track for that. And then up next, Closer. Closer is based upon on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's based upon the notes that the scientists use to try to communicate with the aliens. And he uses those notes and creates an entire song out of it. And it is just awesome. It's a very atmospheric track. It just gives you this, illusion of just everybody dancing. It's just a brilliant track in my opinion. Next up is just a plain and simple progressive song, October. This song has a lot of fans. It's not one of my favorites, but I can see why people like it. It's it just builds and builds, and it's a good progressive track. Then we have Sleepless, which is just really, to me, shows the diversity that Joel has, Deadmau5 has in this album. Sleepless, you wouldn't even know if it was an electronic song. It uses pretty much a bass, drum, piano, and then maybe some ambient sounds. And that's pretty much it. And it just does them in such a cool way. It just sounds like nothing Joel has ever made. And I like that. Next up, Failbait. I didn't like Failbait simply because, Deadmau5 has come out as a non-drug user. He's come across as someone who's, anti-drug. Yeah, I know he didn't say anti-drug, but essentially working to try to get EDM out of this drug reputation. And then he releases a song like this where all it does is talk about drugs. So I wasn't a big fan of the song. I did give it a listen. I don't like it. And and this is also the one song on the album that, you'd have to warn parents. It does have language in it. So, I didn't like it personally. I just don't like that kind of stuff. But, whatever. And then the last song on the album is Telemiscommunications, featuring Imogen Heap. Very abstract vocal melody. A very unique voice. Once again, a very experimental sound. And I definitely liked that track. If you ordered the album on iTunes, where you got the deluxe edition, you'll get a live version of Strobe, which unfortunately is not the entire song. It's just up until about where the club edit begins, which is, right where things, start to build up. So you get the piano version of the live all the way up until that. So I like, it was really cool. I think it would have been cool to have the whole thing, but, whatever. Then you get the Tommy Trash remix of The Veldt. You get the radio edit of Professional Griefers, and then the video for Professional Griefers and The Veldt. So, overall, this is $11.99 for this album. You're getting 18 total items, and if you buy it on iTunes, you also get like a little equalizer you can listen to music on, as well as lyrics and pictures. It's really cool. It's a nice package. I pre-ordered this on day one, and I have to say, although I'd heard pretty much all the songs, I really think he's come up with a really good package here. There's no really, other than Failbait, no one song disappoints me. It's really just a stellar album in my opinion. So I would definitely recommend this. If you can, and I'm going to do, top 3. For me, top 3 tracks would be There Might Be Coffee, FN Pig, and Closer. Maths is close in there too, because I really like Maths. So yeah, I would recommend all of everything on here, except Failbait. So, let me know what you think. I also compose music, so check out maybe some of my tracks. I have some tracks on here too. I would recommend this album to anybody who's a fan of electronic music. And I think it also does a good job at trying to bring electronic music mainstream, with lots of different vocal, points to it. So, I think I would give the album probably an 8.5 out of 10. It's really a great album. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, and thank you.